Hello friends and welcome back to Webronaq. Here is a question for you. Have you ever read a paragraph twice and still felt confused about what the writer was actually saying? That feeling usually comes from missing a pattern the writer is using. In this video, we are going to fix that by looking at two powerful reading strategies: classifying and cause and effect. Classifying is when a writer groups ideas into categories. Cause and effect is when a writer shows why something happens and what results from it. Once you can spot these two patterns, reading becomes faster, clearer, and far less frustrating. Coming up next, we start with classifying what it means and how to recognize it in a sentence. Alright, so we introduced the two strategies in the last slide. Now let's take a closer look at the first one, classifying. Classifying simply means sorting things into groups based on what they have in common. Writers do this to organize information and make it easier to follow. Here is a clear example. Animals can be grouped into mammals, reptiles, and birds. The writer is not just listing random things. They are placing animals into three defined categories, each one sharing certain traits. That grouping is classifying at work. The writer takes a broad subject, animals, and breaks it down into smaller, organized parts. This makes the information feel structured and easy to absorb. Next, we will look at the signal words that tip you off when a writer is using this pattern. Alright, we covered what classifying means in the last slide. Now let's look at how to spot it when you are reading. Writers use signal words to show you that classifying is happening. Phrases like can be divided into, falls into the category of, and is a type of are your strongest clues. Here is the before and after on screen. The first sentence says, animals live in different places. That is fine, but it does not classify anything. Now look at the second sentence. Animals can be grouped into three types: land animals, sea animals, and birds. The phrase grouped into is the signal. It tells you that categories are coming right after it. When you see those phrases while reading, pause. A list of categories is usually just ahead. Next up, we move from classifying to another key pattern, cause and effect. Alright, now let's look at another relationship you'll find constantly in texts: cause and effect. A cause is the reason something happens. An effect is the result. They always work as a pair. Here's a clear example. It rained heavily, so the streets flooded. The cause is the heavy rain. The effect is the flooding. The word so is the signal connecting them. Writers use specific words to show this relationship. Watch for because, since, therefore, and as a result. These signal words are your clues that one event is driving another. When you spot them while reading, pause and ask yourself, what happened and why? That question will unlock the relationship every time. Coming up next, we'll bring both strategies together and look at how to use them as a reading team. Alright, let's bring it all together. In this video, we covered two powerful reading strategies. First, classification. Spotting how a writer groups things into types or categories. Second, cause and effect. Understanding why something happens and what results from it. Signal words are the key to both. Words like types and categories tell you a writer is classifying. Words like because, therefore, and as a result tell you a cause and effect relationship is at play. When you train yourself to notice these signals, reading becomes a lot easier, and your own writing gets stronger too. That is the real takeaway here. Use these tools every time you read. Thanks for watching, friends. Keep practicing, and we will see you in the next one.